Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on chess.com and I just got paired up playing a 3-2 game. Let's go with knight f6. Pretty flexible start here. And yeah, let's just confront their d-pawn with the d-pawn and support my center. Not really too big a fan of the c6 move because of the exchange Slav. Too dry. So let's see. Probably just castle. Yeah, let's castle. Probably knight c3, delaying the bishop move. Now, I'm thinking about h6 or b6. Let's go with b6. Yeah, let's try and make it a little bit sharp, preparing fianchetto, and also an expansion with c5. I think I have a couple ways I could take. I'm gonna go with the pawn and look for c5. I may try to get in a queenside majority with a6 b5. Or I should say first c5, c4, a6, b5, b4. It's a pretty uncommon move, I would think. Okay. I could play c6 or bishop to b7. Let's just pick one. Yeah, let's go with this. This may seem awkward to eventually play c6. Okay, they're really reinforcing their center. Okay. Let's ask that bishop a question. I maybe should have done this a little bit sooner. Well, that's surprising. Okay. So, I mean, sometimes you'll see this capture with white then going forward with the queenside castling, but not in this case. So I think this is an important move. c6, and I may look to reroute my bishop to a better square. But maybe I should get a little bit more development in. Queen d6 is maybe an idea. I'd really like to have my bishop on d6 here. Let's start with something useful. Get another piece involved, rook to e8. And maybe a quick bishop e7 to here, knight d6. I'm not sure what they're doing with their rook. Let's get this knight move in first. Notice I'm going with this first because if I play bishop e7, maybe the knight jumps into e5, and then it could be supported with f4. Okay, the only thing I could think about here is that white is prepping this advance. So if I play bishop here, e4 hits, I guess. Maybe I'm okay with that, though, because I'll have control over d5. Yeah, can move my bishop, hit the knight, and then think about knight f6 into d5. Okay, get my bishop here. I'm pointing at h2. Queen h4 might be an idea. Maybe I could do that just to provoke some weakness. Or none. Let's actually just go with this. It's a nice natural square for the knight. And now they're turning their attention to the c-file, something I thought would come much sooner. Not sure what to do here. Let's not do that. Let's just make a move. I'm trying to provoke some weakness here. Maybe I should have inserted queen h4 and then back. Although I don't know how big of a weakness g3 would be in defense. Let's look to play on this side of the board. To watch for some exchange sacrifice on c6 that might happen. If a4, a5, that weakens b5. Let's go forward once more. If they play h3, maybe then I think about backing my bishop up and then playing queen to d6. I may want to coordinate my rooks a little better, though. Okay, let's get this move in, actually. Maybe king g7, rook h8, h3. They have some concern about their back rank. I didn't consider this move. I should have. Okay, yeah, that's not cool. Maybe queen d7? They're going to move their knight soon. Rook to c8. I really don't want to take this knight. I like my bishop on d6. I need support, though. Okay. Yeah, this could be a problem. Maybe I should think about c5. And now maybe it's just too late. Okay, I'm not thrilled about this move, but I think I need to do it. And are they going to break down this square? They're going to look to reposition and get a knight here. Let's go here. Maybe g5, g4. Yeah, I could question that bishop's position, maybe. Something quick needs to happen here. Let's play on this side. It's a very weakening move, but yeah. Let's get my king up. I don't want to give this square up so quickly for knight f4. Let's get rook here. Definitely going all in right here. Offering a queen exchange, huh? Maybe I'll go for it. And then get off of this file. I don't like being in a pin. They're going to look to reposition their knight. Okay. And yeah, I'm really not playing with a plan here. I have to really babysit this c6 pawn. Alright. Let's just make sure I don't lose on time, for one. Let's do this. And here, I really need to watch over the e5 square. So they could take. I don't know how good an idea that is. Let's get my king over here. Any break with this? It might happen. Let me hit this knight actually right now. He's undefended. I could think about, okay, going for that. Rook check, I could block. They do have that move. Oh, man. Again. Oh, man. Not cool at all. Well, that's what I get. Another loss on time. I was in such a tough position, too. Well, yeah. That's not really said well. Yeah. I mean, I was playing without a plan. It's really deserved loss. They had a lot of pressure on c6. I wonder what I could have done different. Let me go into the analysis, or not the analysis just yet, but just before I go with this and go through this with the computer. Let me see where I could have done something better. I do have some experience with this particular exchange, the knight for bishop exchange, playing within this structure. And I do know that the bishop does stand well to be placed here. But I somehow got distracted with what it is white was generating on the queen side. This threw me off a little bit. Normally, there might be an idea by white to expand with a3 and b4. And then an ensuing b5, which did happen in the game. But, yeah, I mean, with this bishop on d6, this unopposed bishop, I should say, there's sometimes you could generate something against the white kingside, but I really wasn't anywhere close, really, to doing that. Only later was I looking at these very outlandish moves, and I don't know that that's really necessary or good or anything like that. I wonder. Well, let's get a couple more moves in. These seem pretty natural. Rerouting the bishop. Right about here. I wonder if I should have played queen here first. Would that have made much of a difference? Probably. I do force some pawn advance. And then I could return here. I mean, in the game, what did my queen end up doing? She ended up going here anyhow. And at least I've provoked something. He moved. And then I could think about this idea, actually. The thing I'd have to question, of course, is the amount of time it takes, move-wise, to get these advances in. But I do see ensuing pressure with, with this idea of knight f6, g6, h5, h4, king g6, rook h8. That's a lot of moves, I realize. But when h4 hits in this case, it will generate some tension with the white king side, and then the h file can open up. I wonder if queen h4 would have been better. I probably should have just thrown it in. What more before I check it out with the computer? Yeah, because, I mean, this is just, it's not really hitting at anything. I don't know that this is really a big deal. It's a pawn with some great depth. If I play h3, I'm expecting g3, and I have control over this, but they do have a light square bishop around to remedy these light squares. Yeah. I think in the final position, I'm worse. Yeah, this move, and now c6 is really having too much pressure. This move, I dropped my pawn. I don't think I'm trapping the queen if I do this. Here, queen, here. I wouldn't be trapping the queen. No. Yeah. That got tricky. This is something I'll certainly be on the lookout for. This, well, knight on d3 I know stands well, but I wasn't really considering what it was that a3 was doing. It's supporting this advance, or this position on b4. If I take it, I mean, I don't know that you could really consider this a liability for white. These double C pawns is quite good, I think. Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to have a look at it with the computer. This final position, yeah, unfortunately a loss on time, but I'm not the better side here. This is the move I wanted to play. After it takes, there's no way I'm better here. This is a tremendous knight. Look at the, just do a piece-by-piece comparison. My rooks compared to these rooks. Wonderful knight, a pawn clamping down on these two here. I'm deficient in so many ways in this position. I only have one good piece, my knight on e4, but one good piece is simply not enough. White has everything else better. Okay, I have some space with this h4 pawn, but the big factors are the file in this knight position, as well as the pawn clamping down on this structure. One pawn basically negating two. Okay. Let's have a look at it with the computer and see what more we can take away from this one. Okay, Stockfish, show me the way. Show us the way. Let's get to a critical moment in the game. I questioned a little bit during the game how I should be recapturing on d5. I think knight takes would be okay as well, but I wanted to maintain a pawn in the center. Bishop e6, bishop b7 now. Okay. Nothing exciting. It's not a big fan. Computer normally won't be too big a fan of the bishop for knight exchange. So on h6 it wants to play bishop f4. We had this exchange playing with the bishop pair, but how can I really put it to use? Knight a6. Okay, what's the idea with knight a6? Looking to reposition to maybe the e6 square by way of c7, one of these things. Okay, rook e8 can't be bad. Pretty even, as we're seeing here. a5. Did not consider a5. Queen e7, bishop here is what I played. It's still evenish here. It wants to go with knight f6 right away. This isn't a bad idea. Putting the bishop here on d6. It likes me ever so slightly. Now knight f6. This is where I was saying maybe queen h4 first. This is the move I played, knight f6. How could I have better followed up? Let me look at this. Queen h4. Here, queen h3. That wouldn't have been my idea. To go further here. Yeah, but maybe why not? If this, then queen e6. Or queen to f5. Okay. Okay. Looking to move forward and reply to this aggressive move. She can't be maintained there, but queen f5, pretty good spot, I guess. Okay. Knight f6 is what I did play, and what it's calling out for, but how can I have better followed up here? Not a move I gave any thought to. Bishop c8. Suppose rook here. What's the idea? Okay. Bishop to f5. Yeah, this doesn't feel right, to be perfectly honest. I pretty much had this bishop, you know, his job is to babysit this pawn, should some pressure come on it. Yeah, I was not thinking about something like bishop to c8. Yeah, that's a tough move to make. I mean, he's then unprotected, this knight could move, and the rook is hitting here all of a sudden. Suppose something like this, I don't know, just something quick. Queen c7, another move that rubs me the wrong way here. Going into a pin, it is pointing at h2. Okay, but I guess we have very direct ideas in mind with bishop f5. Could I have still played it without playing bishop to c8? I played queen e7. Rook there, now queen d7. Still slight pull. I guess it's okay. It wants to go for this g5 move. Wow. What did I play? I played h4 or g6. In the game, I played g6 and then later g5, so I lost some time by taking 2 steps to get to g5. So it doesn't mind this idea of expanding with the pawns. I could have been more efficient, is one thing that I could take away. With this idea of the g-pawn push, I did take, again, I took 2 steps there. Playing h4. And here, a5 it wants to play. I did consider this. I didn't voice it, but what I did not like is the downside, the weakness of b6 after the knight moves away. Then this pawn is hit, but I have this idea in mind. You know, this is an interesting point. Only until very later in the game did I think about the c4 square. And this is something I should have maybe considered. I should have given some attention to the c4 square. As soon as, let me back up here. This is important. The move a3, for one, I didn't realize its purpose to play knight to b4. But what I could, this a3 move influences the c4 square, in that there is this idea of one day getting the pawn up. This may seem far-fetched, but to get this pawn up to a4, which secures the b3 square, and then I could already start to view the c4 square as a result as a nice home for a piece. This maneuver of the bishop on c4, and then anchoring him in there with b5, what will that ultimately say? It'll say that this c-file, this pressure against c6, is no longer. I no longer have to babysit the c6 pawn. I could take up a more aggressive post with my bishop. Let me Let me try to illustrate this. I'll just make some, well, make some back and forth moves just to highlight. In fact, okay, let's go with what happened. Knight there, it's calling for a5. Here, the knight is hit. Okay, it's saying knight to e5, but suppose they just take up a defensive posture. Play bishop c4, and then something like this. Well, I can't do it just yet because of b3 hitting right away. Or maybe not actually. b3 weakens a3, and I could take this knight. But this idea here, let me just get one more passing move in. This idea, this structural shift on the queenside is one I should at least consider. I mean, in a blitz game it'll be difficult, but you know, I'm trying to take away from these quicker games, these blitz games, still some correct ideas, like how you would maybe improve. What would you do given more time? What would you do in a slower game? This is something I could consider. This clamping effect, having the structure a4, b5, c6, d5, and having the piece anchored in there on c6, or excuse me, c4. Okay. Played queen d7. And yeah, now it got to be pretty tricky. They want to go with a5 here. I captured, and that's where there's a shift. I felt that, but I didn't know what more to do. Wants to go with h3, a5. Isn't a5 dropping here? I guess they're in an uncomfortable pin. Can't really get out of that, huh? With rook c7, rook c8, this knight will fall. Didn't see that idea. I just took him out. Queen f5. It's just one of these moves that appears to be active, but I wasn't quite sure what it was doing. To kind of move fast around this point. And this is okay. It's not fun to play as black, just because there's pressure against c6. And I'm, of course, mixing ideas. I'm thinking about attacking, and then there's the offer of a queen exchange. They're exchanged, and then now I'm just on the defensive entirely due to the pressure against c6. Getting out of the pin. What does it have to say about the final position? It wants to go with bishop a6 one move sooner. Yeah, I was saying I saw this much later. I wasn't considering it in the middle game. It wants to go with bishop a6 and then throwing in the bishop into c4. And it could be supported, if need be, with b5 soon thereafter. Okay. So rook there. Yeah, this would have been a much better way to cope with the pressure against c6. And in the final position, it's not liking me at all. b5 is good, and yeah, this was the final position, right about here. Yeah, pawn advantage. It's just too many good things, as mentioned. I have one good piece, but it's just not enough. I mean, he has no good ensuing moves. He could be taken out right away, and it's just a fantastic knight. I kind of view this position as if the bishop on f3 and the knight on e4 are exchanged, and it's a knight versus bishop type position where he's just a complete dud. It's not a cool position at all. Better rooks, better white rooks, better knight, and better queenside structure. One pawn restricting two. Yeah, not a good final position, but some interesting things to take away. I really need to be a bit more, well, of course, to play quicker. I believe that will come with some more practice doing commentary with these games here. Yeah, but this idea of the c4 square, to be a bit more focused on the c4 square, maybe. This idea of repositioning the bishop, should we have this exchange, I think is a good one to watch over. The e5 square to point at the black, or the white king side, the dark squares on white's king side. And yeah, up until this point I played okay. and yeah, it started to, play without a plan around this point. A3 could go for this idea of A5, bishop A6, bishop C4. Something to keep in mind, that queenside structure A4, B5, C6, and a piece on C4. Okay, well, as usual, I hope you got something out of this video. Feel free to leave any feedback in the comment section below, and I'll catch you in the next one. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.